Hey everyone, welcome back to Matthew's Guyanese Cooking. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my recipe for these soft and fluffy polouries. Now this polourie recipe is the one made from fresh split peas as well as some flour, so it is still nice and fluffy. And I've shared different polourie recipes on my channel before, so if you'd like to check those out, I will have them linked in the description box right below. But if you want to see how I put this one together, please keep on watching. The first thing that we're going to do is start off with some soaked split peas or dhal. Now last night I went ahead and I soaked these split peas in some water, and this morning I rinsed them off very well, and you're going to see that they're nice and plump. So all you're going to want to do now is put them into your blender or food processor, and you're going to add in some water. And as usual, all of my ingredients and the proper measurements will be in the description box right below this video. So check that out and I'll have everything there and the proper amounts that I use. And now we're just going to grind or blend these split peas until they are a smooth, fine paste. You do not want chunks of split peas in there, and you want to make sure that there's no little lumps in there. And once you finish grinding those split peas, you're going to go ahead and start the mixing process. You're going to see as I pour it into the bowl, it's nice and smooth and liquidy, exactly what we want. And at this point, we're going to mix in our other ingredients. So I'm adding in some baking powder. This of course is going to give it a nice fluffiness. I'm going to be going in with my salt, and this is salt to taste. If you want more salt, add more. If you want less, you can add less. I'm also adding in just a little bit of brown sugar. If you want to use white sugar, you can. The reason why I add this in is so this way when I put the yeast in, it'll have something to feed off of. Yeast needs sugar. And at this point, I'm going to sprinkle in my yeast. And at this point, I'm going to add in some ground turmeric or dye. This part right here is totally optional, but I'm adding in some homemade green seasoning. I'm adding it in simply because I love the taste that it gives to the polourie, but if you do not want to add in green seasoning, you don't have to. I'm also going to be going in with some crushed hot wiri peppers. You can use wiri peppers or any hot pepper of your choice. And whenever you're making any type of fried Guyanese snacks, you need a lot of crushed garlic. The garlic is really going to give it that nice flavor, and trust me, you're going to be missing out if you don't add in enough. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and give everything a nice mix until these wet ingredients are properly combined. And once all of those wet ingredients are mixed together, we're going to add in all of our all-purpose flour. And then make sure your hands are clean and get in there and go ahead and mix everything until everything is well combined. Now, depending on the type of flour that you have or the amount of water that you added in when you ground your split peas, you might have to add in a little bit more water to mix this dough together. Remember, when you're making polourie, you do not want it to be too thin and you do not want it to be too thick. If the polourie is too thick, what will happen is when they go in the hot oil, they will literally start to burst open, and that is very dangerous. I've been burnt before while they burst open. You don't want that. And then if you make the batter too thin, they tend to suck up a lot of oil, and you're never going to get those nice and round polouries. And this is what my dough looks like after I added in the proper amount of water. I only had to add in a couple more tablespoons of water to get everything combined. You want to make sure that everything is still thick, and you want to make sure that you can still hold it in your hands. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and beat this polourie mix for about 2 to 3 minutes with my hands. Some people have asked me if you could go ahead and mix all of this in your stand mixer and beat it in the stand mixer. And while you can do that, you just have to make sure that the texture of your batter is perfect before you start beating, so this way you can have nice textured polouries in the end. And this beating just really helps with the texture of the final polourie. It's going to make sure that your polourie is nice and chewy, it's nice and fluffy, and of course by the end of the process you should be able to drop them as you see I'm doing here. So my polourie dough is at the proper texture. I'm going to go ahead and cover this and let it rest for about an hour to an hour and a half until it has a chance to rest and rise a little bit. My polourie dough was sitting for about an hour. It's nice and rested and raised, so we're going to go ahead and start the frying process. I have a pan heated up with some vegetable oil. You can use any light tasting oil of your choice. And I'm going ahead and oiling up my hands, and I'm grabbing a nice little chunk of dough in my hand, and I'm going to show you how I squeeze it into the oil. You're basically going to go ahead and push little pieces of dough between your thumb and your index finger, and you're going to go ahead and keep on squeezing little balls of dough into that oil. Remember, you can make your polouries as big or as small as you want. I tend to make them more on the medium size. And if you're more of a beginner chef in the kitchen and you're afraid of hot oil, you can go ahead and use 2 spoons to drop them in, or you can also use a small ice cream scoop. Do whatever works for you. And once you drop in a batch of polourie, you're going to go ahead and keep stirring it around and moving it around on that medium heat, so this way all of them get an even golden brown color. And after about 3 minutes, you're going to see that those polouries are nice and fluffy and golden brown all over. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer them into a bowl that I've lined with some paper towels. and then we're going to continue frying the rest of the poolouries until I finish out my batter. So all of my poolouries are done. They are fried to golden brown perfection and they are fluffy on the inside. And of course, whenever you're eating poolourie, you need a nice dipping sauce. Now my family, we love to eat these with mango sour or mango chutney. Now if you wanted to, you could also make tamarind sour or tamarind chutney, whatever you would like. If you want to see how I put together this mango chutney or mango sour, I will have the recipe uploaded onto my channel tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe so you can see when that recipe goes up. It was absolutely perfect. I just wanted to go ahead and break into one of these poolouries so you all can see what it looks like on the inside. As you all can see, they are super fluffy on the inside, nice and light and airy and nice and spongy. And trust me, when you dip it into that mango sour while it is nice and hot, the mango sour soaks up even more and makes for a delicious tasting snack. Make sure you all try this for your next little function that you have at your home. Try it for your family. Everybody is gonna love it. If you enjoyed this video today, please go ahead and give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet and leave your comments down below. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye everyone.